Okay. It's 12:26 on the morning of the March 9th. No, March 9th. Okay. 12:36. Sunday night / Monday morning. So I got some pieces for a KitchenAid mixer. I actually found my dumpster by our old apartment. I picked it up because it still worked. Cleaned it up. I've been holding on to it. Finally decided to pick up KitchenAid bowl and one of these attachments for it. We'll get more, but it works great. So I was like, hey, I should. And people are going to start yelling. This didn't go well. No one's going to see it. I just want to document this because it's interesting. So anyway, I'm going to make biscuits. I read an article in the last month or so about like how to make really good biscuits, and it says we can't do it up north because we don't have that kind of flour. It's like hard to find. Other people go, oh, it's just cold butter. So like, I'm like, well, why don't I just try it with, what Trader Joe's store brand, all-purpose, just a regular basic recipe. We had everything except for, well, the milk. We don't drink milk. Neither of us. We don't drink dairy milk. We do butter and cheese, but like we're just not big dairy milk fans at all. I do oat milk. Becca does coconut milk. So I remember a few weeks ago, Becca made pancakes, and she didn't even tell me till after she made them that she actually made them with oat milk, because again, we don't have dairy milk. So I was like, oh, they didn't even notice. That's cool. So I was thinking, when I was thinking about doing this, I'm like, I don't have milk, and I don't want to go to one of the corner stores. So I'm like, let's try the oat milk. So here it is. Here they are. They look not bad. I gave them, they weren't browning super, like I did about 12 minutes. They were still kind of pale. So I gave them another minute or two, then I pulled them out, put some butter on them, put them back in, let them get actually a little golden, then brought them back out, butter one more time, and here we are. So everything was normal, I believe. I don't think anything was weird other than that. All-purpose flour, baking soda, or baking powder, I meant to say. What was it? Teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of sugar, tablespoon baking powder, powder. It was just really the oat milk. I did 3/4 cup like the recipe called for. I noticed it was still a smidge dry, so I added another half cup. A little bit too much, so I just compensated. It kind of balanced out because some of the flour didn't stick on it, but it picked up more when I put it on the counter because it was so wet. I think it worked out in the end. Here, you can see they actually did some of the cool schmancy stuff, right? So, I cut the butter up. It was 6 tablespoons of butter, cut into like tiny, small as I can get cubes. Couldn't find my grater attachment for the Cuisinart. I was going to try shredding it like cheese, which they say is the best, but I think I hopefully got small enough cubes, and I mixed it up. I used the KitchenAid mixer, the big stand mixer. I wanted to try it. I used it for like 2 seconds on low, and I was like, and then I just pulled it out into my hand like it said, or with a spoon, because it was... You don't really... you're not supposed to overwork it anyway, but even if you try to go slow, it just kind of doesn't work that well. They don't look bad. I probably should have... So we don't have salted butter right now, which is fine, because the recipe called for unsalted, but I wanted to add salted butter to the top. So I literally just took some large flake sea salt, really big flakes like that, put a little bit on top of a couple tablespoons of butter, melted it in the microwave along with, what was it? This, Trader Joe's has this nice garlic salt I like to use. Onion salt, sorry, something to tell you. So, it's got good stuff. Let's get what they got. I think it's like a good kind of garlicky biscuit taste. Probably a little excessive butter, maybe excessive salt even, but anyway, so I'm not going to go for like the coolest looking one. I'm going to go for this one first. Alright, so it does the thing. That's pretty good, right? No egg either. This is a recipe, at least I didn't call for an egg. Is that underdone? This is hard to tell. There's no egg, so I'm not too worried anyway, but this might be denser than it should have been. So, surprisingly. This might be a little undone, but again, there's nothing in this that's going to hurt me, so I'm not too worried. There's no raw egg or anything. It's not bad. That's really surprising, actually. That's very close. Maybe we could use more salt in the actual recipe, but that's not the oat milk's fault. Though maybe milk would have added some savoriness. It's not bad. It's really not bad. A little doughy with some protein cooks. Might be too big. I don't think so. That's really surprising. So, you may learn Yeah, I know people say you can coconut dairy milk, but I seldom believe them because soy milk, especially because it always comes in vanilla, doesn't do it for me. Sorry, don't like. So maybe that's part of it. So this oat milk, I like oat milk more than any other non-dairy milk, but I also I don't think this is flavored at all. It's pretty neutral, so I guess it stands to reason it probably wouldn't. And also, I don't know if the milk. I mean, the milk does have flavor, but I think milk is more just for the dampness of the dough than it really is for anything else. Because biscuits are super simple. But I do want to point out, pretty good. These look great. They look like the pictures of the fancy ones. I almost wonder if I should have put them in for longer even still. Well, I think I will. Let's come back in like 5 minutes. There we go. So that was another 8 minutes actually is what I ended up doing. Just because the reason I stopped even before they weren't very golden brown at all. So the reason I stopped is because I was worried about drying them out. Clearly, when I tested them just a minute ago, they were not dried out at all. They were still actually rather doughy inside. So I'm hoping they don't the bottoms aren't too burnt. They're not even really burnt. I would just call them really dark. I'm still saving this guy. This guy's too cool. I don't want to blow through him. So he's just a little warm. I give one more little. The last of the butter drags on him. A brush. So let's take a little bit. Wow, these guys really don't want to. Okay, so yeah, we still got a little bit of a cross section of doughiness there. That's interesting. I didn't expect that after this much time. It could have been too much flour because I added more. I thought I didn't add that much more. Maybe I did. And maybe I'm not resting them. I don't think so. No, I didn't say to rest them. It doesn't look bad again, but it definitely it's got like a ring almost of like uncooked, which is confusing, but so whatever. Okay, let me grab a plate. Let's see. Hopefully this isn't too hot still. That's definitely closer. That is more better. I'm gonna go ahead and say final verdict. Not bad. Definitely could have done a better job, but I could have definitely done a much worse job. But more importantly, the oat milk could have done a much worse job. I had no right to expect this to work. Well, a little bit more time definitely did it. But I'm wondering why it's almost literally twice as much time that I said. Okay, there we go. Not bad. Okay, bye.